Peggy 16.
I think what makes Front Mission stand out from the crowd is its rich storyline. The story was crafted by Toriyama-san at Square Enix, and he has a real love for the series and an ability to craft an interesting story that still has some really interesting gameplay.
We're going to war.
The general plot of the game is kind of reminiscent of the Cold War between the United States and the USSR. You have these two massive factions in this universe, the UCS and the OCU.
The UCS, which is the Unified Continental States, and that's composed mostly of the North American countries. The OCU, which is the Oceanic Community Union, that's composed mostly of Japan and Australia and that region. In the story, these alliances begin the story in sort of a tense state of affairs where they're very wary of each other.
There's a lot of distrust. There's a thinly veiled detente that could break at any second. So with the other organizations, with ZAFTRA and the DHZ also getting involved, it's hard to tell who's really an ally and who's really the enemy. And since boundaries have been so solidified with skirmishes, they've pushed this race to space, and now there's constant spy games, seeing who's going to make the first move.
今回のですね、世界設定は今までのシリーズの延長上にはあるんですが、いわゆる制空権と呼ばれる空の領土争いから制中権と呼ばれる宇宙の領土争いに展開しています。で、そこを担うのがですね、軌道エレベーターと呼ばれる、地球上からですね、宇宙に突き抜けるですね、大きなエレベーターができます。
There are these large buildings on the ground which connect to large space stations up above. And the space stations have a surveillance network that allows people to sort of figure out what's going on the Earth and track different people's movements. The main plotline of the game starts out with Dylan Ramsey, the hero of the game. He's an engineer at Diablo Avionics who's working on this new prototype Wanzer. And in that moment, an attack occurs on New York, and he's worried about the safety of his father.
Guess we're doing this the hard way. Let's see a radar map.
The storyline takes you through his search to try to save his dad. And in that search, Dylan gets sort of put into some complex conflicts with the other nations, and he gets brought into a bigger role. Some of the other big characters in Front Mission Evolved are Adela Sewell.
Give me a break.
Adela is a pilot in the UCS Army.
Adela is a soldier with a haunted past. At first she shows a lot of disdain, maybe some scorn towards Dylan, because she doesn't want the same things that happened to her to befall upon him.
Another important character in Front Mission Evolved is Hamilton. Hamilton is a captain in a squad which Dylan Ramsey begins to join in the story. And Hamilton sort of plays the role of almost a father figure. He sort of keeps the peace between the squad and keeps them moving forward.
The player will be able to experience a wide variety of environments, ranging from city streets, to deserts, to the jungles, to space. Huffman Island is kind of paramount. It shows off exactly what's going on in the world. It's an island that's split between the UCS and the OCU. So you have two of these global superpowers that are sharing this tiny island. And so it's a hyperbole for everything else that's happening within the universe. So the minute the hand drops, the other party is looking to see what happened.